Welcome back. In the last video, you learned how keys are arranged in the circle of fifths and how you can immediately see how many sharps or flats a key has. So how does this work in real pieces of music? First, it's important to know that a piece of music can contain several different keys. However, there is almost always one main key. We call this the main key of the piece, sometimes also called the home key. It is the most important key of the piece, and sometimes even the only one. So how can we recognize it? If you think back to the previous two videos, you'll probably remember the key signature. And that's correct. The key signature already limits the possible keys to two, a pair consisting of a major key and its relative minor. To illustrate this, we'll look at two famous piano pieces. The first Prelude from the Well-Tempered Clavier by Johann Sebastian Bach, and the piano piece for Elise by Ludwig van Beethoven. We'll play the opening of both pieces. You probably noticed right away. One piece is in major, the other is in minor. But on paper, neither piece has a key signature, so both could be either in C major or in A minor. So how do we decide what the main key is? The main key forms the tonal center of a piece, and it often appears at the beginning and almost always at the end. For a melody, it's therefore best to look at the final note. And for a piano piece, at the final chord. When you analyze chords, always look at the lowest note, the bass note, because the melody might contain a different chord tone, as you learned in the video about chord positions. In Bach's Prelude, the bass note at the end is C, and above it we find a C major chord with the root on top. Together with the key signature, this clearly shows that the main key is C major. We'll play the final bars. In Beethoven's piece, the bass note is A. Above it, we see no full chord, only two more A notes in higher octaves. That this still represents an A minor chord becomes clear from the context, from the key signature, and from a full A minor sonority a few measures earlier. So the main key of the piece is clearly A minor. We'll play the final bars here as well. Finally, take another look at the circle of fifths. C major is the reference key, and 6 keys are arranged to each side. The sharp keys and flat keys can each be extended by one more step. This gives us 15 major keys and 15 minor keys in total. You've also learned that there are 21 different pitch names and that you can build a scale, and therefore a key, on each of them. In practice, however, only the keys shown in the circle of fifths are normally used as main keys. In the next video, you'll learn how to determine the different keys of a piece even when there is no key signature. So stay tuned, and see you next time.